This kid runs so fast, people are calling him the next Usain Bolt, and he's only 16 years old. This is Gout Gout, and he's not the only kid we gotta talk about. Like this 7-foot, 17-year-old who was too big for the NFL, but was a tank on the field. This 5-year-old who has a need for speed, or football's wonder kid, Lamine Yamal, who's so good, he's causing problems for his national team. And those are just a few of the 12 unbelievable kids I gotta show you. And first, there's a Russian arm wrestler who's defeating opponents more than twice his age. Meet Alexander Baziakov, aka Schoolboy. And at just 23 years old, he's already cemented himself as a veteran in the competitive arm wrestling world. Yeah, this kid's been breaking records since he was 13, winning the Under-22 Chinese Open Championship at 18, and ranking highly in the unified ratings of professional arm wrestling in the heavyweight division. The kid's a beast. But Schoolboy isn't just beating his age bracket, because he goes toe-to-toe and hand-to-hand with guys way bigger than him. God damn! And by the time he was 20, not only was he a 6'4", 256-pound monster, but he was taking on powerlifting legends like Larry Wheels. Yeah, that guy, and making light work of him. Man, he made that look easy. But this next kid's making motorsports look like a piece of cake. Because at just 5 years old, he's more capable behind the wheel than most people with a driving license. See, when Zany Sufugu was only 18 months old, he was already riding bikes and go-karts. And with the help of his dad, 5-time Supersport World Champion, Zany was practically destined to hit the track someday. And that day came sooner than later. Because by age 3, he was already doing hill jumps in a buggy and side wheelies in ATVs. Yeah, I guess his dad wanted to start Project Supersport Champion as soon as the kid could walk. Because by the time he conquered the world of small vehicles, he went straight to the big boy stuff. I'm talking supercars, driving at top speeds, drifting, and doing donuts on the track. And only 2 years later, at age 5, he stepped things up even more when he took the keys to a Lamborghini Revolto. That's a freaking preschooler driving a supercar at 194 miles per hour! Damn! That kid's a speed demon! But sometimes, going too fast can go horribly wrong. Yeah, we'll get to that soon. This is Ruslan Greasehands. He's a professional racer and stuntman. But instead of tearing up the track like Zany, he's the future of off-road racing. You see, the kid's been leveling up his vehicles ever since he was 5 years old, going from mini quads to high-speed side-by-sides. And by the time Ruslan turned 10, he was already attempting his first canal jump across the Glamis sand dunes. Jesus! The kid was flying! But just 2 years later, he was raising the stakes even higher when he performed a crazy jump at the 2020 Huckfest event. Yeah, maybe such a heavy landing should have served as a warning, but it couldn't have bothered him too much, because less than 6 months later, he was already attempting another canal jump. And that's when this happened. Even though he cleared the canal, he mistimed the landing, causing him to crash and roll out onto the ground. He was immediately rushed to the hospital, but was discharged just a few days later with only minor injuries. Despite all that happened, Ruslan was back at the dunes in no time.
I'm feeling perfectly fine, and I'm gonna bust down some more dance moves for you guys.
Man, I'm just happy that stunt didn't get him killed. But this next kid is killing it on the slopes. See, this is 13-year-old Walker Woodring, and he's the youngest phenom to ever explode onto the ski scene. Yeah, even from a very young age, the kid had an aura about him. And despite always being one of the youngest on the slopes, Walker can shred. Because the kid can 360 spin, rail slide, and hit triples like it's nothing. And ever since this clip went viral, it's been nothing but reaching new peaks. I mean, he's got 127,000 followers on Insta. He's the youngest member of the US free ski team and is an official Red Bull athlete. Damn, that kid's cool as a cucumber. But Connor Bedard's got ice in his veins because he's considered one of the greatest hockey prospects of his generation. See, by the time he was 19, he wasn't only drafted into the NHL. He was picked first overall by the Blackhawks in the 2023 NHL entry draft. This not only makes him one of the top hockey prospects in Canada, but the entire world. Yeah, Bedard's been turning heads since he was 10.
You see a shot, they score! Number 98, Connor Bedard!
And even from such a young age, it was clear he was levels above the rest. So it wasn't long before he was selected for elite programs, including the Canadian under-16 team. And at 15 years old, he was racking up 88 points in 30 games in the Canadian Sports School Hockey League. Kid was a menace. But even with all that success, many still believe he was just another overhyped kid. And let's just say his 2022-23 season proved the critics wrong, because he became his team's top scorer and earned the Rookie of the Year award. Man, he's in a league of his own. But there's a lot more incredible kids coming up, like Lamine Yamal, who at just 17 years old is drawing comparisons to the greats. And he's not the only one, because this is Gout, and he's so fast, he's breaking speed records left, right, and center. We'll get to all of that and much more. But now, we gotta talk about a kid whose career took a complete U-turn. See, back in the early 2000s, Richard Sandrak was nicknamed the strongest boy in the world. What the... That guy? But rewind the clock 20 years and Sandrak looked a little more like this. Yeah, that's an 8-year-old kid in better shape than you and I will ever be. So, I bet you're wondering, what the hell happened? Well, let's just say Richard didn't have the most normal childhood growing up. His early life was pretty much a crazy training regimen pushed by his father, who wanted him to focus solely on becoming a competitive bodybuilder. So at 5 years old, while other kids were watching cartoons and eating sweets, Sandrak was doing 600 push-ups and 300 squats 7 hours a day. And don't get me started on the kid's diet.
Hell no, man.
Jesus! All of that just to maintain the perfect but extremely dangerous 1% body fat during his peak. And although Sandrak gained massive popularity and got the badass nickname Little Hercules, he put the weights down for good when he became an adult and hasn't looked back since. Damn. I guess it's sometimes better just to be normal. But this next bodybuilder is anything but. Meet Usain Bolt, aka the genetic anomaly, and he's the biggest 21-year-old in the world. You see, at 16 years old, Usain started hitting the gym like most kids his age. And for the next 3 years, he trained multiple times a week, making those gains. But once he turned to 19, he completely flipped the switch. Yeah, the dude put on some serious size, because he went from 116 pounds at 16 to 154 at 17 to hitting 178 pounds by the time he turned 19 years old. That's 62 freaking pounds in just 3 years. Bro went from looking like this to looking like that. And just a year later at 20, the dude weighed 229. Jesus! But look, if you're thinking about getting into the bodybuilding game, you should know that apart from his godlike genetics and some secret sauce, Usain trains 5 times a week and consumes up to 8,000 calories a day when he's bulking. At his peak, Usain weighed at 242 pounds at a height of 5'9". Now at 21 years old, he has the future of Malta's bodybuilding scene on his shoulders. And you better believe he can lift it, because he's getting comparisons to G's like Larry Wheels and Eddie Hall. Damn, Sam Silik's got nothing on this guy. But Abdullah Mason's on the path to becoming one of boxing's GOATs. See, at 20 years old, he's already a straight-up killer in the ring, making his lightweight boxing debut at 17 years old, and is considered one of the most dangerous fighters in the lightweight division. I mean, the kid's got it all. He's got the technical skills to pay the bills, excellent footwork, and the knockout power that keeps putting his opponents to sleep. But arguably, Mason's biggest career-defining moment was when he defeated 30-year-old Ohan Jr. Because not only was the dude a full decade older, but Mason dominated the fight from start to finish, capping it off with a 7th-round technical knockout. God damn! After 15 pro bouts, the young southpaw remains undefeated with 15 wins, 13 by knockout, giving him an 87% KO ratio. Yeah, nobody wants the smoke. And nobody's able to face this baller from China either, because it looks like Chinese basketball may have found their great wall. This is Zhang Zi, a 7'5" beast who's only 17 years old. I mean, watching her play just seems unfair to the other team, because not only does she tower nearly 2 feet taller than her opponents, but she can shoot without anyone blocking her, and dunk with ease. And trust me, the girl's dunking on everyone. Or should I say, placing the ball in the net. Because with height like that, she doesn't even need the jump to score points. And even when she misses, she can just grab her own rebound until she makes it. Yeah, this is how she was able to score 19 points in just 13 minutes during her debut at the Under-18 Asia Cup, while also averaging 35 points per game. Damn, this girl's blessed. But John Cron must have felt cursed, because he's one of the only players who was too big for the NFL. See, at 11 years old, John was already 6 feet tall, and instead of using his natural advantage to ball like Zhang, he took it to the field. And this dude was a nightmare for other kids. I mean, he looked like a totally different breed of animal, and at junior level, he had the strength of multiple players. Yeah, and the growth didn't stop either, because at 17, John was 7 feet tall and weighed 440 pounds, which officially made John the largest person to ever play football. All this meant there wasn't a single person that could guard him. Everything seemed lined up for him to go pro. But here's the thing, being the biggest and strongest is enough when you're playing at junior level. Top level though, that's where speed and reactions come into play. And John was just too slow to take his career any further. His whole journey, which was kickstarted by his size, ended because of it too. And while John's dreams of being drafted into the NFL never came true, his towering height and massive build caught the attention of another organization, the WWE. Damn. That's not your average story right there. And neither is Lamine Yamal's, because this kid's so skilled with the football, it's almost illegal. Yeah, I'll get to that in just a minute. You see, Barcelona fans haven't been so excited about an academy product since they welcomed the GOAT. Like Messi, Lamine came out through La Masia and broke into the first team before he turned 18. But he was a full year younger than his idol, debuting at just 16. And during his debut season, he went on a record-breaking spree. I'm talking the youngest ever starter for Barcelona, the youngest goal scorer, and the youngest player to get an assist and play in El Clasico. Holy, and the list goes on. But it's not just at a club level that he's balling out, because Lamine also became the youngest goal scorer for Spain and helped them win the Euro Championship in 2024, almost playing every minute. And that's where the legality comes in. See, in Germany, where the Euros took place, there's a law that prohibits athletes under 18 from working past 11 p.m. And with Spain's games often extending past 11, things became tricky, because failure to comply could result in a $30,000 fine. But it was a risk they were willing to take. Yeah, imagine being so talented that your country is willing to break laws for you. Now at 17, he's becoming a household name, and there's no debating his talent. But when it comes to the fastest kid in the world, the debate's never ending. You see, ever since Bolt set the 100-meter world record of 9.58 seconds in 2009, no one's officially come close to that time. And at just 22 years old, Bolt was an absolute freak of nature, making the fact that 7-year-old Rudolph Blaze Ingram sprinted the 100-meter in 13.48 seconds. All the more impressive. Damn, little bro sent those kids back to kindergarten. Then there's Gout, who ran the 100-meter in a jaw-dropping 10.29 seconds at just 16 in 2024. Yeah, the kid's so good, they named him twice. But if anyone's truly giving Bolt a run for his money, it has to be 18-year-old Osama Singa. Because back in June of 2023, he blazed through the 100 meters in an impressive 9.89 seconds. This not only made him the fastest under 20 sprinter in history, but also established him as one of the youngest and most formidable competitors to Bolt himself. To put that into perspective, that's just 0.31 seconds behind the GOAT himself. And he was only 18. Yeah, Asinga's getting pretty close. But who's to say Gout and Blaze aren't gonna be there in time? But you know who's really winning? This dude right here, because he just made $1 million shot. That's what I call 1 in a million. But life's full of moments like this, from winning the lottery twice to once-in-a-lifetime survival stories. Look, if you want to check out these moments, you need to click on this video right here.